Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for Invincible Season 3, Episode 7. This is it. We had been waiting for the Invincible War as it was teased at the end of the last episode. Boy oh boy. This one was written by Robert Kirkman, so not only did he make up the original story for this in the comic, of course, along with artist Ryan Ottley, but this episode itself was also written by Kirkman. So like this goes to show you the level of how much they were committed to this bit, how much they wanted this to be a success. Because Robert Kirkman is a busy, busy man. This was fun. It's full of all the really crazy, outlandish, goofy stuff that I love from the comics. Now, although I haven't read all of Invincible, like the tones there, the gore, the way they just kind of push the envelope. There's some really gnarly stuff in this one. Of course, it's a fight of all these. Not only this column, the Council of Marks, but like the whole of the superheroes that are trying to defend Earth, and then of course finding out what Levy's plan is. So yeah, intense stuff, but it was really, really good. Let's talk about what happened in the episode itself. First of all, we see a lot of Invincibles, a lot of Marks running around, but we also take a look at how Levy survived the fight with Mark. Last time we saw him, Mark literally beat him to a bloody pulp. Like his face was split open. I don't know what kind of augmentations he already had. Maybe just from that machine his organs were different that he could survive in like that beat up state. He had set up and hired these he calls them technicians that were there on standby to fix him after in just in case he had a backup plan after fighting Mark, right? And yeah, this is it. This kicks off Invincible War. It is all hands on deck, right? Everybody there. The Invincibles they start attacking strategic positions in different cities all over the globe. They called out 18 Invincibles at the beginning, and we see them running all over the globe, fighting all kinds of superheroes. They're attacking the prisons, so like it, which I feel like that was kind of dumb because that meant that villains would get out that would probably fight them or oppose them, right? As much as a lot of the villains are bad people, they probably don't want Earth destroyed by a gang of Invincibles. Also, a lot of those villains were put in prison by Invincible or his dad Omni Man, so like they already had kind of a grudge against Mark. So they'll take it out on any Mark. Ask Powerflex. All right, so yeah, we get to see everyone. Oliver joins the fight after a very nice moment with his mom. The GDA's all over it as well, including I forget the name of. I just call. I just think of him as Coulson because to like that's definitely who the character is. It has to be based on a Coulson like character. But yeah, a lot of things happen in this episode. Some of them hurt, including Rexplode. He dies right after one of the Marks attacks, or one of the Invincible attacks the Teen Superhero Clubhouse. Um, Rex is the only one that's there. He buys everyone a little bit of time to escape, and now Rex can only explode inorganic matter from what it seems. So he throws everything at this Invincible, and then once he has out of options, he has a wound on his side, so he blows up his own skeleton. So I don't think Rex is coming back from this one. I'm very, very upset. He was one of my favorite characters. Obviously, he had a very interesting kind of relationship going on with Ray. And then, of course, he's voiced by one of my favorite people, Jason Mantzoukas. So, like, I hope that we can find a way to, I know Robot is used his genes, but his voice is different. Yeah, I don't know. I hope we can find a way to either bring Rex back because this is comic books, um, or maybe just bring Jason Mantzoukas back in some other role. Although it would be very distracting to hear his voice somewhere else. But I do think the GDA could have like Rexplode genes because they kind of own Rexplode just based on based on his arc and based on what he learned about him. Anyways, I'm sure we'll talk more about Rex when his special comes out. I'm pretty sure they're making one. After day three of the invasion, phase one is complete per Levy. The Invincibles, they all meet up with Levy outside of Mark's house. There's only 8 left. And the closed captioning was pretty funny because they're all marked, they're all invincible. So like they had to come up with funny names. Like, it said Omni Invincible, so like the one that was dressed like Omni Man, or Goggle Invincible, the one that wore the weird goggles. So they each had their own little code name in the. They were all invincible, but they were all had their little code name in the caption, which was really funny. They turn on Levy, of course, because he betrays them. So he sends them each back to that desert dimension where he was fighting Mark at the end of their fight. And then finally, Mark shows up. He realizes that he's there because Eve's hurt. One of the Invincibles broke her leg and then like threw her. Like she was pretty hurt, like down and out. But Levy, he fights Invincible. Really cool fight. Uh, Levy has a very interesting way of fighting because obviously he doesn't have superpowers like Invincible does, but he's got all these like I mean, they're pretty much like the terrific tech balls, right? That are running around, but he's got hundreds of them, and his goal is to push Mark into one of the portals, like he did with their first fight. But Mark learned his lesson. He does some really cool stuff to like kind of stop midair. There's a lot of really interesting navigation of flight. Yeah, it's a fun fight. Levy escapes, goes back to those technicians that fixed them, but he also kind of not he did not cover the promise that he did to those technicians, so they turn on him as well. Obviously, the tech that they infused him with, they also use it now to control him. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see those guys again. There is no way this arc is over, especially because Levy is such an interesting villain. We explored the devastation all over the world. Gigantic cities were destroyed. Mark gets to meet Eve's parents as they come to visit her in the hospital, and he has an interesting conversation with his mom. The dad, as always, like is very standoffish. Cecil offers Mark to lead the Guardians, and I think he should do it, but Mark's very hard-headed, and also he doesn't trust Cecil, so uh, at the end of the episode, we leave with this: Conquest, one of the Vultramites, voiced by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, comes to Mark with an ultimatum after the events of this. So, yeah, we're gonna have an all-out fight with another Vultramite in the next episode, and then who knows how the season's gonna end. I'm pretty sure. I think there's only 8 episodes this season, so that's it. We have one more, and Invincible is done at least for now. So let me know what you thought about this episode if you've seen it. Uh, Please let us know in the comments. As always, if you have read the comics, actually, let me know what issues cover the Invincible War. I want to go and take a look at some of those. I think that'd be really cool if you read it. Stay tuned. We have our comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.